May it be a light for you in dark places when all other lights go out.
Hey guys, this is DCHL Devin here.
And this is DCHL Walker.
And welcome to another episode of A Light in the Dark. And this is our question and answer episodes where you guys post questions in the comment section below and we go ahead and answer them for you. And today's going to be a bit of a longer episode. We actually decided to pick from a lot of questions today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And from Jeremy Smith, we have a question. He's asked, will Galadriels' mirror continue to work after her death? And short answer?
Yes.
Yep.
Because it's a permanent fixture on the battlefield. It's a piece of terrain at that point, and it's not attached to a character. So, yep, it stays on the battlefield.
And I guess the trade-off for that is the fact that it cannot move.
Yeah.
So, you have to stay in that one spot if you really want to feel its effect. So, secondly, we have next question. Paulo asks, hey guys, I have a question for you. Do you think there should be a rule that prevented the use of different timeline characters in the same force? For example, Elendil in the same force as Aragorn or Thorin and Gimli. Thanks. Alright, well I guess I'll go ahead and go first on this one.
Sure.
In my opinion, no. I don't think there should be any restriction. I mean, ultimately, this game goes over the course of thousands of years. You'd be restricting a lot, like a lot more than you might imagine. And I think that would really take away from all the different options we have in the game. Essentially, there'd be only one way to play this race or one way to play this force. And I think that would be extremely limiting on the game. What do you think, Will?
I agree. As far as just general gameplay, no restriction there. But if you're doing like a campaign, a specific time period campaign, then yeah, go for it and write it in. That'd be kind of cool. But then also take the time and write up your own characters too, so you can make their history and stuff. It adds flavor to the game and it's a lot of fun. So yeah.
So we'll go ahead into the next question. We got one good riddance. He actually has a couple questions here, so we're going to go ahead and post them all together. And so basically, he was asking, oops, sorry, lost my place, people.
He's still learning how to read. It's okay, guys.
Oh, here it is. Sorry. He asks, so in Nova, basically, you claim objectives in a certain match for the amount of points that's on an objective. So if you have more points than your opponent, then you get 2 points. If you are contesting, then you get 1. All right, contestation just simply means you have a model around it. So basically, you just add up the number of points, and that's how you get 2 points. All right, so you don't get literally that many points, like 100 points or whatever for those models. So the reason we did that was a couple of reasons. Is models like Smaug ultimately can't win those objectives because he can't be on like multiple objectives at once. Sure, he would claim that individual objective, but he can't go anywhere else. And 2, we just allow where model-heavy forces, like if I decided to field 100 Goblin Town goblins, they wouldn't have an automatic win over other armies. Everyone has the same number of points, but not everyone has the same number of models.
And what he's talking about, guys, is the domination mission for Nova. Yes. So just for clarification.
Exactly. So now I can get into the actual question at hand. He asks if certain models such as Eladon, Elrohir, Myrn, and Gerard, the King's Champion, what happens when they get separated? For example, if the Heralds and the King's Champions are on different objectives, how many points will each component of the unit cost?
So this is something we already sat down and decided. We take the points value and it's divided amongst the models evenly.
Yeah.
It's the only fair way to do it. The weird one ends up being the King's Champion.
Because you're dividing it by 3.
Divided by 3.
It doesn't come out even.
Right. That's the only one that's a little odd. But
it honestly was necessary to do it that way. But yeah, he basically splits into thirds, so you're going to actually have a decimal point. And actually that does get factored in. You will literally be point whatever, 0.3 or however it actually comes out. So if you both have exactly the same number of points, but you're like point something over, then you get 2 points. So it really isn't that big a deal. When you guys calculate broken tests, you often have to do this anyway, in a sense. You have to go like
they count as models.
Yeah.
Warband, so yeah.
It really doesn't work out to be any more weird than you guys can imagine, it's actually, it works out pretty well. And of course, for guys like Mern and Jor-El down now we're here, it's pretty easy. You just divide it in half.
Just divide it in half. The King's Champion is the only one that has 3, so that's the only odd one that we've run into.
As for the next question, we'll go ahead and do XTS Warzone. He says, hey, great vids, guys. In regards to spear support, I was wondering how overpowered it can be. One with the example you guys mentioned, and with then the regard to an Isengard list. For example, supporting a Berserker and with an Isengard troll. I really want to try that in a game. My question this time is, what armies are you guys thinking about taking for Nova? All right, so there's 2 questions here.
So we'll start with the first one. The Isengard troll can support a Berserker or any other model that he wants. The problem with that is he only gets 1 attack as support. That's not necessarily a bad thing if he can't reach combat himself, because then you get that fight 6, that higher strength, the strength 6. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just very situational when you would use something like that. You would much more prefer to have the troll with his 3 attacks in close combat rather than a Berserker with 2 attacks. But
exactly.
Or both.
I completely agree with Walker, and actually I think another guy commented on the video, on this comment itself.
Lewis James
there you go. I agree with his assessment pretty completely. Yeah, you ultimately wouldn't want to do this if you can avoid it. It's just as Walker said, only when you can't get the troll in combat.
Right.
So it's not broken in that sense. Now he asked us, how broken do we think Spear Support is? It's not really at all.
No.
Let's say I support a Mama Kill with a Harajim, guy. Who cares? Like, he just gained him an extra attack.
The one that I have an issue with, and this is kind of cheesy, I want to say broken, just cheesy, using it to the rules, is a spear model supporting a cav model that's charged. Yeah. Because then the spear gets an extra attack if you win combat and you have a better chance of killing. But honestly, since everybody can do it, it's not the end of the world. And typically spear guys can't keep up with the cav anyways. It'll be on later on. So
the only time it would really come into effect, and this is an extremely rare situation, is when you have cav models, not extremely rare, it's kind of common, but when you have cav models armed with spears. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh, Harajim Raiders. No, not even Rohan. Rohan has throwing spears. Harajim Raiders have war spears. Remember, war spears count as lances, not as a spear when they're mounted.
And then spears when they're on foot.
Yeah, no, actually, I take it back again. It is actually extremely rare. There's only a couple models in the game where a cav model actually has a spear, in which case there's nothing that restricts them from supporting another cav model. And those instances are like Citadel Guard.
The war lance when it counted, it only counts as a lance when he's mounted.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm talking about cav supporting cav. So, to going off what Walker said, he was talking about how infantry spear support generally can't keep up with the cav model.
Right.
Well, cav spear support can keep up with cav models, of course, but you don't see almost any instances of that. There's just like one model that I can think of.
The way you're making that sound is like that the Serpent Rider can support another cav model as we move forward.
Not the Serpent Rider, the Citadel Guard. So Citadel Guard mounted gets a spear while mounted. Hence, you can have him go behind another cav model, and he can support even though he's a cav model. So
we have a whole new list there for you guys. Anybody playing Ministerius, go ahead and put your Citadel Guard on mounts now, because guess what? You get spear support.
It won't come out as awesome as you might imagine.
It sounds really cool.
It does sound cool.
For a flanking unit, because sometimes you can only get that 1 or 2 cav in. Just have two Knights Ministerius with lances, and then 2 Citadel Guard behind them, because that'll give you the higher fight and the spear support, and they just charge in behind. And then
that's exactly how that would work out.
That would be awesome. I like it.
So I guess as the next question, we're going into what are we taking for Nova? And GBHL Jamie has been asked this question several times, and I think we'll have to give the same answer as him.
What was his answer? I didn't watch this video.
It's filth.
Filth.
That's it. That's the same answer. Filth. Ultimately, guys, you're not going to know what we're bringing to Nova. And the GBHL versus DCHL videos, you're not going to know what we're bringing to that either. Those matches will be, unless the GBHL decide to reveal theirs, or we all decide to reveal it together, or something like that, You guys
should probably just keep everybody in anticipation until the GBHL comes out.
That is pretty much the intention. So although you guys only see me and Walker here, you will see the other guys, and when they're not going to reveal their lists either. So ultimately, sorry, but I can't tell you.
The reason why is we just don't want the GBL, tailoring their list to destroy ours.
I think it's just fun to keep it in.
I'm not scared personally because I'm awesome like that. So, but I'll have Azov Hunters with me, Hunter Orcs.
Yeah, I mean, we could tell you probably what we're playing. I guess we could do that.
Yeah.
So
Hobbits.
Well, here's the thing about me, guys. I will only be there during the GBHL versus DCHL batreps. As far as Nova itself, I can't play. Basically, as a head judge of the event, I cannot play in any of the events that occur. So, really, this is a question more for Walker. And for Nova itself, not DCHL versus GBHL.
Right. For Nova itself, I'm bringing Hunter Orcs. And it's going to be fun.
Yep.
They do have an ally. I will let you guys be in suspense about that. It'll be pretty cool. As far as the GBHL, if I fight them, I have my Lothlorien. I'll have them finished by then. I'll have Goblin Town. Goblins. And Hunter Orcs. So I'll have a couple different forces to be able to do different things with, depending on what's going on.
I think as far as other guys, we're actually training a lot for Nova coming up. And just to go down the list real fast, of some of our other DCHL members, we have Isengard, an Ultrol list.
Ultrolls.
Yeah, Mountain Ultrolls. You like it, but not completely Ultra. It's more.
We have 2 troll lists.
Because there's another guy who's an Angmar player.
Angmar troll list.
You guys have actually seen him before already. If you watch our bat rep of High Elves versus Angmar, you will see the list he's bringing. Actually, that's very similar. It's not the same exact list.
Yeah, it's gotten better, and so has he.
So, we have Easterlings. We actually have a full Lake Town force.
Yep.
So, for the first time ever, you can see someone who actually was willing to spend hundreds of dollars on an actual Lake Town force. There's very few proxies in it. So
the few that he's doing, he's converting up his captains, and he's doing green stuff for different hats and fishes on it and stuff. It looks really cool so far. I can't wait to see it all finished and painted.
The only reason he's even converting it all is because the same pose repeated 100 times seems like kind of boring. Yeah, so he just wanted to mix it up. Those are some of the lists. There's an Easterling one. There's a
Mordor orc list.
There's a Moria one.
We have a Moria player. Yeah.
Ultimately, those are some of them, of our main DCHL players. And other than that, I really couldn't tell you. Not everyone. Some people keep switching, so.
Yeah, there'll probably be lots of switching. We have quite a few months to get ready and everything like that. So, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, guys.
All right, so we're going to go ahead into the next question here from Tipper Robin. And he says, hey, guys. Hold on.
Bless you.
Sorry. He says, hey guys, the Mummic of Harad has a throw stones rule where you get to throw strength 6 stones. But can this be combined with a poisonous dart so you can re-roll 1s to wound? So is it possible to have poisonous rocks? Short answer, yes. What he's talking about is an upgrade that gives rocks not to the Mummic itself, but really the warriors on top of it. Essentially, the wording of it says that they now have a new throwing weapon that has a range of 8 inches and a strength of 6. However, anytime a Haradrim warrior fires a missile weapon, is all it says.
Does it say it was missile?
It's a missile weapon. Okay. So it actually counts the rocks as poisonous.
I'm going to look up that one again later just to make sure.
and actually, you can have the betrayer around it. So
it'd be a 1s and 2s then.
You can reroll 1s and 2s, and because it's strength 6 rock, there's actually many targets you're wounding on 3s and 4s most of the time. So ultimately, you'd only fail on 3s, almost targets. Well, you reroll 1 and 2, so I guess you roll it again.
Yeah, you could do it really good.
Yeah, this is a kind of a cheesy thing, I suppose, but it's not broken. I wouldn't consider it broken at all. So I'd say okay, yeah, you can reroll the 1s. But yes, it's possible to do that. So next we have Lord of the Brown Ring. He says,
what's going on, Lord of the Brown Ring?
Hope to see you from Chicago, by the way. We definitely invited him out to Nova. He says, good videos recently, guys. He's been a bit busy to comment, and he'll watch later tonight. Anyway, he says, anywho, I think a decent idea for Nova with teams based off countries could be how they will handle the Hockey World Cup next year. They are taking the powerhouse countries, and then they get their own teams. Then there is an all-world team after that. So, for example, GBHL representing Team England, UK, DCHL and other Americans rep the USA, and then the rest are all part of the world team, i.e. Canada, Sweden, Holland, Denmark, etc. So basically there will be 3 teams. Just a thought. If Canada feels necessary to attach it to us, it's up to them, but the rest of the world needs bodies. Haha. Nice videos, guys.
Yeah, I agree. That would be kind of cool. Yeah.
Actually,
we might add that in next year, I think. Do like
it's
a World
actually,
Cup.
Well, as a real quick thing, it's actually been technically added this year by accident. Nova does this thing where, and actually I need to tell the GBHL this because I just learned it myself, where if you can sign up as a team. So if, like, say 4 guys sign up and they say they're part of this team, you can call yourselves Team GBHL, you actually accrue points for your entire team. It's an individual event that they do something completely separate from what we're doing, but the teams with the most points in those specific genre games, so for like the Lord of the Rings games, the more points you have, you start to earn what they call like swag bags, which are essentially hundreds of dollars worth of stuff in a bag, and you earn like all these different prizes and stuff. So in a way, it already exists. Now, as far as us doing it, actually, I'm fully on board. How would you do that, Walker?
I don't know. I have to think about it. But yeah, I like your idea, the Lord of the Brown Ring. I think that would be really good. Or we could do like, you could bring teams of 4. That way, there'll be multiple American teams, like maybe Midwest, different cities.
I'd be good for that.
And then, you could do DCHL, 4, and GBHL, there's the 4. Maybe something like that, because 4 is pretty good. You could get 4 guys together to go. We'll hash that out. We'll figure those, but we'll get more details on the team prize swag bags from Nova, so you guys can know about that and sign up as a team. So that'd be really good.
You can do this at the event, so even if you haven't done so yet, don't worry about it.
So just get 4 other guys that play Lord of the Rings that you just meet there and make a team and then register. You'll be all set.
We actually intend to combine up some of the guys for the DCHL versus GBHL and stuff like that, where we don't even just use DCHL members, but also just other members from America. And Canada was also interested in filming batreps, so you might even see them representing in their own little batrep scenarios with us and GBHL.
Man, we're going to be so busy.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be incredibly busy all weekend. Lots of content for you guys. Just keep watching. So
it's going to take us some time to edit, Devin to edit all that, so it's going to come out after,
Actually, I have to do it as the event goes on. Yeah,
basically,
every night I'll have to sit there and...
I'm talking about like the big bat reps.
The big bat reps,
Stuff like that. We're not doing in Noah, us versus GBHL and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
So,
I know we got a lot of questions, so we got to keep going.
We only have a couple more here. So, let's go to Matthew Ridgely. Says, hey guys, sounds like Nova will be amazing. Wish I could make it. Though the trip from New Zealand would be a bit pricey.
Yeah, he's a Kiwi. What's up, man?
But for those of you guys who don't know, Walker's wife
is Australian.
He says that, anyway, my question is, how have you managed to get such amazing prizes for Nova? Were you guys responsible for sorting these out, or were the event organizers? I'm running a few independent tournaments down here, and I want to get the best possible prizes I can for attending. Cheers. So,
who's this guy?
Yeah.
He's been scouring for all the prizes and everything like that.
Yeah, ultimately, guys, there was no real easy way to get the prizes or to help get some of these players down here. It just kind of required me looking around. I looked on eBay, I looked on a lot of different websites and stuff for people selling unopened boxes of these things. So, a bit hard, and it gets pricey. And but it's not a big deal. Honestly, this is all about reviving the game. Not even reviving. It's not even really. It's all about just supporting it. The best part about all this is just supporting the game and getting everyone to enjoy Lord of the Rings here in North America. Because we've been really looking for something like the GBHL has, just a community of players all across the area. So. I mean, ultimately, if you want to get your own prizes, I'd recommend starting smaller.
You can get some of the One Rings replicas of those pretty cheap.
Yeah.
On like, I don't know. They have eBay in Australia.
So basically, just don't buy them from like Weta Workshop. Weta Workshop's a bit expensive.
Can be.
Can be, yeah. But ultimately, just get it from like the Amazon One Rings, and those
They can't order on Amazon.
You can?
Not from there.
Really?
Yeah, it sucks.
Wow. All right.
I think they have a version of eBay type of thing. Yeah, that would be a good
Wait,
place
why
to look.
can't New Zealand order from Canada?
Because they don't have them.
Wow. All right.
Amazon
Well,
Canada.
I
My
don't-
wife loves Amazon when she came here.
Jeez. All right. Well,
Like, this
Weta
is
Workshop's like right next door to you guys, so.
Just knock on the door, see if
See if
they'll
they'll
donate
donate
some
stuff.
stuff to you, you know?
I mean, ultimately, it just kind of takes a lot of searching around to get the best prizes available. But I mean, or you could do it this way. The GBHL, I've noticed, have a tournament coming up where I think it's called Desolation of Stockport once again. I'm not sure. I know they have Desolation of Stockport, but it's just another event thing they have where they're giving out a free smack. And the way they did that was they did an entry fee. So everyone pitches in $20. Well, if everyone pitches in $20 and then you get 25 people to show up, is it 25?
Something like that.
Yeah, like 25 people show up, well then you have just gotten the price you needed for Smack.
Yep.
So, and $20 is not much for a tournament. I mean, that's really low key. As for Nova, I don't receive any of the profits for that. I'm just literally an independent party running that.
The registration fees for all the
Yeah.
events pay for the space.
Yes.
Is what it is for Nova.
The hotel itself is pricey.
Yeah.
And all the events that are happening are pricey and stuff like that. So, yeah, that doesn't get covered there. So ultimately, this one has to be run a little bit differently. But that's the way I'd recommend it to you. Just charge an entry fee, a small one, and then just reasonably, based on how many people you think you can get, you would do it that way. Another way you can do it is to find models online that
discontinued stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and get them painted up and stuff like that. Those are fantastic prizes.
Yep.
I mean, who doesn't want, Armorian heroes that can't be bought anymore? So if you can get your hands on those, that'd be another way. And I know they're a bit pricey on eBay and such, but if you think of it like, okay, Halberad probably will cost you like $50. Get a guy to paint it up really, really nicely, then there you
You're
go.
looking at like $70, maybe 80, depending
Yeah,
on how nice
that's
it
not
is.
bad for a first place prize.
No.
Just a Halberad thing. I mean, whatever. You keep the prizes simple. The smaller it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as far as Nova prizes, I pretty much just bought them. So, but I think it'll be awesome. And actually, and one last follow up on that, just because I kind of wanted it to be a worthwhile trip. We got people flying from England, driving 11 hours from Canada, flying across the United States, which if anybody knows, this is a big country. We got people coming from like everywhere. And what better way to make it worth it than some amazing prizes, right?
And somebody going home with the staff of Saruman.
Yeah, the staff of Saruman. Whom,
I want to win that, but I can't.
Well, I mean, that kind of depends on how long if you actually are judging in most of the events.
You know I'm going to be. We're going to have enough guys there that are going to end up judging almost everything.
So, but ultimately, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make the prizes worth the trip, And for those of you guys who don't know, you cannot win 2 prizes at once, unless it's 2 event prizes. So if you win a doubles and then you win the GT, you can win both of those. But you can't win, let's say you win the GT, you can't win the Staff of Power.
Right.
All right? It automatically skips you. So that way we can give the prizes to as many players as possible. So even like Best Painted Army. If you have the Best Painted Army and you're voted the best, but you won, say, the GT of that event, then you, once again, can't win. Or if you win that plus Favorite Army, now you have to pick one. You have to pick the prize you want, and the next prize gets bumped to the next person.
And we'll be doing a video once we get all the prizes, and we'll lay them all out, show you guys again, and then tell you how you earn that. So you know that in detail, so you can plan accordingly for which ones you want to do.
All right, so we'll go ahead to the next question. Max, not your name, says, "Hey guys, great video as always. Two things though. A banner on a mummic does not affect the mummic itself, since its base is more than 3 inches away from the banner's bearer. Two, well, we'll cover that actually. That's an interesting thought. Two, it's mahud, not muhad. Sorry, this bugs me more than it should. Actually,
okay, on the second one, yes, you're right.
You're right. It is mahud.
It's mahud.
Yeah,
Not
mahud.
mahad.
No, honestly, all right. So you guys know, I am not a Tolkien expert.
I like Tolkien and I know lots of lore, but I'm horrible at names. So
we have a guy in our community who actually corrects me on the names repeatedly. In fact, that's how we met. We met because he was correcting me on the names on YouTube, and then I was like, you know what? I really need a guy to help me with these freaking names. Now, you know what? Just to say my spiel on it is, ultimately, I love the game of Lord of the Rings. I love the lore, but I'm the kind of guy who watched the movies like a handful of times. I never really read the books too much, and never went super in depth with the lore. So I am not an extreme Tolkien fanatic.
that's why he has me around.
Yeah, I have to have all the other guys because
I've read all the Silmarillion series from cover to cover. Granted, I jumped around when I did it, but I've read all the Lord of the Rings books. I've watched all the movies, extended editions. I even was painting one day and had the how it was made, the million hours. I was sitting there painting and had that on, and my buddy came home and was like, "What the hell are you watching?" And turned it off. I was like halfway through it. I turned it on later and watched some more. I got a lot of painting done that day. It was really good. So I'm a huge fanatic. I love the lore. The game is awesome to play, but I like making themed armies. Like I had, we were playing in an escalation league, and I had Goblin Town, Easterlings, and Harad all together.
yes. Yeah, but keep in mind, I say I'm not like a fanatic. I just mean that in the sense that it's obvious that I don't know the lore so in depth. But I do actually like the lore a lot. I can follow, as far as like when I construct an army, I know what's thematic. You know, I don't know how to pronounce the names the way Tolkien intended.
Yeah.
So
I'm not as good as linguist as Tolkien.
So as the official disclaimer then, if you or Joel Barron or anybody else decide that it is annoying the hell out of you to hear me mispronounce the names, feel free to post in the comment section below and I will correct myself. And I will say now, Mahud.
I will do my best, but I'll probably say it wrong continuously.
And keep correcting us. To answer your first question, actually, that's an interesting statement that you say. It is not 3 inches from base. However, the problem with that is, does it need to be?
We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah,
I have the rule book in front of us. I think it's to the base, or is it to the model? I think it's base.
So the distance of two models on a vertical level is actually kind of complicated in Lord of the Rings, because often it's asked, like, when you measure out to shoot at an enemy model, do you measure diagonally? Like, so let's say I'm on a tower and someone else, do you measure that, or do you measure straight across? And is everything affected within that? So, or is it like this sphere that they have going on, like you're suggesting here? It's a 3-inch sphere all around him, or is it all models within 3 inches horizontally? This is actually a tough question. Lord of the Rings doesn't have too many answers for vertical stuff.
We'll have to brainstorm and actually think about that.
Yeah, I think it's just all based on the wording. If it says all models within 3 inches, then I have to honestly say the base doesn't matter, because when you're shooting at the model and you're shooting at the model, you're not aiming for the base. If its base was obstructed, can you not shoot at him? No, you're shooting at the model itself. Most effects, magic, anything targets a model, and so within 12 inches, and so you are targeting the figure itself. And so this also helps from the fact that the bigger the figure, the easier it is to target. Well, this is the same case with this. If the banner says, which I'm pretty sure it says, all models within 3 inches, you'd have to apply the same logic to it. It has nothing to do with the base. It's all about the model itself. The base is included in the model, but you'd have to, essentially he's, within, 0.millimeter of an inch away, 0.millimeter away from it. So yeah, actually the banner would affect the mummic in that. But I'd like to hear what you guys say in the comment section below. So feel free to debate in the comment section below, and maybe we can start a storm like Tom did with the King's Champion being a named character. So, yeah, I'm still of the argument that it would be affected, and I'll let you know after I look that up. So, the next question is from Akathon39, and he says, of course you guys are the experts, but Team GBHL will defeat you. But seriously, it will be a very good showdown. How will the actual versus bat reps go between you guys? Would it be doubles with you and Walker? In that case, would GBHL be all 4 versus you 2? So first off,
we can take them all on.
Yeah, we would lay down the smackdown on the GBHL with just me and Walker, but we want to make it look like we don't want them to be upset at their time here in America.
Right.
So we're going to actually do 4-on-4. No, actually, guys,
that'd be a big battle. That'd be huge.
What, 4-on-2?
No, 4. Well,
oh no.
4-on-4.
No. All right. So let me answer the actual question. The bat reps will be 1v1 bat reps. 4 videos. 2 will be shown on the GBHL's channel. 2 will be shown on our channel.
With links to each other.
Yes.
Yep.
They will have links to each other. Ultimately, GBHL are editing their share of the bat reps, and we will be editing ours. So you might see 2 different kind of editing styles in a sense, but we'll probably talk about that when they arrive. As far as the matchups of it, the matchups...
You guys have already decided that, right?
For the most part,
who's fighting who?
For the most part, it's not real clear cut in stone because ultimately our players aren't decided.
Well, you and I are.
Well, yeah, me and Walker, you will see. In fact, those will probably be the 2 first bat reps you see in the event, or either that or the 2 last. It kind of depends on maybe what we'll decide. Actually, let's do last probably. But then I am assuming what's going to happen is me and Walker are going to be paired up against James and Jamie. So that is the kind of general intention that I have right now. Just simply put as... there's really no reason for it, just simply put, just play styles, maybe the type of attitudes that we have, I don't know, whatever. Who would make a really fun bat rep? And so I think Damien and Tom would be paired up against, we actually have 2 other members we already have in mind. Who would you like to see? Because I already have mine in mind.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay, so if you guys
we'll figure this out
watch our bat reps... Well, here's the 2 I had in mind. It was basically Robert going up against Tom, and then Damien would go up against, if you guys don't know him, he's from a different channel called Lord of the Rings SPG Battles. And either him or, and honestly, I'm fully up for this, inviting Lord of the Brown Ring to go up against Damien. Yeah, just to get another group out in there, because ultimately DCHL is America-based, so it's a good thing to have just, I think, multiple different groups coming in. But ultimately, okay, so basically it's 1-on-1 matches. It is more than just me and Walker, and it will be 4 bat reps in total. Now, the only thing that will throw that off is the Canadian players. If the Canadian players bring 4 of their own, then they will intermix in the bat reps, and that completely negates everything I'm just saying. And you will see actually probably about 6 bat reps as we all kind of jump between maybe 2 here, 2 there, stuff like that. That will be played out completely differently. You guys will know more information toward Nova. In fact, we're going to probably post it on the One Ring forums just to gather a little bit more attention to it and see how it goes.
Yep.
So with that, that's pretty much the end of this Light in the Dark episode. And you have anything more for him, Walker?
Nope.
All right. Well, then definitely check us out on Facebook. If you guys don't know, just type in DC space Hobbit League, and you guys will actually see some updates that we post there. Also, go ahead and check out our site where you'll find a lot of content. DCHobbitLeague.com. If you go there, you'll have like supplements, old Games Workshop stuff, long lost. Just all kinds of different stuff. Conversion photos that we've salvaged from the One Ring because they're hard to find there. Stuff like that. And lastly, if you guys can't get a hold of the new, the out of production source books, contact me at dchobbytleague@gmail.com and I will help you out with that. All right, we will make sure you can get a source book. So, without further ado, that's the end of that, and thanks for watching.
Later, guys.